As of this recording, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is currently on its 5th phase. So of course, like with the LEGO games, there are a lot of movies and now shows, and has largely been successful, much to the dismay of some public figures. Speaking of LEGO, with the success of the first LEGO Marvel superheroes, of course, TT Games and Disney's top rival Warner Bros. Had to make a follow-up. Though not yet the big sequel, they would however cash in on the MCU's success and make a LEGO game that's more of a tie-in with the MCU than the former game, being LEGO Marvel's Avengers. How does this spin-off fare? Let's find out. The story mainly tells the events of the first 2 Avengers films, primarily told how the Avengers dealt with Thor's adoptive brother Loki, as well as the techno-villain Ultron. But in the middle, you have a flashback moment with Captain America as told in his film, The First Avenger. It's a little off-putting at first as it covers the introduction of Age of Ultron first before it gets to the first film, but for the most part sticks to the stories they are adapting in typical light-hearted LEGO form, so it works. The gameplay, as one expects from LEGO at this point, before the overhaul that is LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, is the simple action-adventure platformer that, rooted with the classic LEGO Star Wars, go through the levels using the characters and their unique abilities, try and collect what you can, and anything you missed, you go back to collect in free play. Maybe bring a friend along in split-screen co-op, or if you're a Wii U owner, one player has their own screen. And even some of the DLC adding on more levels from various other Marvel properties, from comics to TV. But also what you'd expect is some minor additions with character abilities. For instance, there is a more gray-tinted material that characters like Ultron can only clear. There is also characters with speed abilities like Quicksilver that can run on speed pads, and in addition, practically make cars almost useless when you're doing most driving segments in the open world mode. And speaking of the open world, while it does reuse Manhattan from the first game, they do some changes with different quests and even change up the setting to a sunset. However, they did add some new smaller hub worlds, including the Lincoln Memorial of Washington, D.C., the shores of Johannesburg in South Africa, Tony Stark's abode in Malibu, California, Clint Barton's family farm, the ruined city of Novigrad in Sokovia, Asgard, and even a shield base in New Mexico. So it adds some variety at least. In any case, it's still decent fun with how much they cram in this game. Visually, again as one expects from this license, is very colorful as the blocks themselves and looks similar to the prior LEGO Marvel game, so there is not much to say. The sound, however, is a bit more of a mix. The background music consists of archives from the films and the prior LEGO Marvel game, with so few quote-unquote new compositions, but they all still fit, so tough to complain. In addition, even the voices are mixed too. Some of the main characters have voice archives from the films, others are new recordings from either actors of the source material or professional voice actors. Kinda like how LEGO Lord of the Rings did, except a little more intertwined to the story.
Yes, Herr Schmidt, I will not fail you again.
Steve? Captain Rogers! Lost! I hope the radio might have sorted itself out by now.
This is Agent Sharon Carter of S.H.I.E.L.D., Special Service. You see that lovely Malibu penthouse? Well, that's where I live with Tony Stark.
This is Agent Melinda May with a Special S.H.I.E.L.D. report. The following information is highly classified and should only be accessed by agents with experience of Season 2 events. You have been spoiler warned.
You'd think that Tony Stark would be happy that he helped save the world from the Chitauri, but something about him's different now.
It's another win for the good guys. Normally I'd keep score by putting little marks on the walls, but I kind of try not to do that so much anymore.
I suppose the only thing I don't like is that, as usual with LEGO games, there are occasional glitches. Nothing game-breaking, but really annoying. Like, when I was doing my playthrough, I had an annoying glitch where Captain America remained stuck in an animation during my main campaign run. I had to restart it and edit out of my playthrough videos. More so, when I wanted to try and 100% the game, some moments like when a required superpower doesn't work to grab a mini-kit, or a car was stuck when trying to move forward. At least with the right persistence, the main game is still beatable, as it is obtainable to beat it 100% with all achievements, but good lord Warner Brothers, let TT Games check for more bugs. In the end, with the amount of collectibles you get from gold bricks, more playable characters, which all aren't from the MCU, though don't expect characters tied with Fox at the time. And of course, finding Stan Lee, LEGO Marvel's Avengers is still decent fun, even if it's not as good as LEGO Marvel Superheroes. If you're gonna get any version though, the Wii U version may not be the one to get in the modern day due to Nintendo shutting down eShop servers with no way to get the DLC, which you couldn't get all the packs for even when it was online. Though the co-op via having your own screen is nice, as it was with prior LEGO games on the platform. But for a definitive package with all the DLC, you can find in the LEGO Marvel collection alongside the 2 LEGO Marvel superhero games. In any case, it's worth a look.